Hey guys, welcome to musicstudios.co.nz. We are at Mel Smith's private home studio.
Home studio. Yes.
Home studio. Yeah. It's not private because you can book the room.
You can book the room, yes.
So, Mel Smith.
And please do.
How are you?
Nice
Thank you, sir, for having us.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into opening a music studio.
Okay, so it is a long story.
Okay.
It's a very long story.
We like long stories.
Okay, so in the short term, in the last, so I started building the studio August, September in 2017. And the reason that I did that is that I had been teaching at an institution, teaching audio engineering for 19 years. And so I got out of that and I needed something else to do. And fortunately, there was a little bit of a financial assistance with my leaving there. So I put that into the studio and I put a whole bunch of other money into it and basically converted my tin garage, which 72 square meters. And I took 2/3 of that and lined it. And the result is this. So the whole idea of doing it was so that I would have somewhere to record, and also I can keep doing this for years.
Yeah.
And it's my hobby, it's my passion, and so yeah.
It's low overheads and it's just a walk away.
It's just down, yeah. And I'm not annoying anybody in my house.
Yeah.
And they're not annoying me. And
very important, you see. Yeah.
Yeah. So and I have space and
That's cool.
So it's nice and relaxed.
Did the build itself take very long? Were you the handyman part of that?
I assisted.
Okay.
So there was a chippy and an electrician who was his mate and me, and
right.
So I nailed in a few nails. When we came to doing some things, because the walls are actually made out of tri-board, 50mm tri-board, they're about this thick, and they're 3.5 meters tall, and 2.4 wide, right? So they're actually quite heavy when you've got to go and put them up. So so there's insulation and everything behind it, and then the tri-board. So yeah, need assistance. So yes, I was involved. I did all the decoration and I did all the acoustic treatment and all that sort of stuff. So
that's
you've got to
cool.
get your hands dirty.
You do, right?
Yeah.
And it also makes it your own.
Yeah. And also I know what's wrong with it and what needs to be fixed, and so it's good from that perspective.
No, very cool. Tell us a little bit about yourself as you're a keyboardist mainly?
I'm a keyboardist.
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
What was your first keyboard?
My first keyboard. The first keyboard I got was an Acetone GT7, which was an organ.
Yeah.
And it was made by Hammond in Japan. So it was basically a Hammond organ.
Nice.
Not B3, C3 sort of modelling. It had this offset keyboard. But it had the Hammond drawbars, it had the Hammond percussion and everything. And there's a gentleman by the name of Paul Crowther. Do you know Crowther?
No, I'm not familiar.
Oh, so he's a tech.
Right.
He used to be the drummer for Split Ends.
Okay.
The original drummer for Split Ends. But
nice.
he's a tech genius, and he modified all my percussion and everything.
Nice.
So that was the first keyboard I got. And if you go to Roundhead, they've got 2 of them. And then I bought a Leslie for that.
Yeah.
And then I bought a Mini Moog.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was my sort of like late teenage rig.
Yeah.
And when I was 19, I became a professional musician. So I was traipsing around the country, and I was doing a lot of rock and roll and stuff. And so I had a little Elka piano that cost me $50 or something, which was a reasonable amount of money at that time.
Yeah.
But it looked pretty pathetic and everything else.
Yeah.
So I saved up my bickies and I bought my CP70.
Nice.
that CP70 was the second one in the country and the first one to go touring. So it's had a hell of a life. It's been bashed around and
Iconic.
But, you know, yeah. So
what piece of music or song or band artist got you into making your own? You thought, I want to give that a go and I want to be a musician.
Well, I kind of fell into it. It wasn't any great sort of passion.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I left school and trained as an accountant.
Okay.
And some people are born to be accountants and love it. But I just didn't actually, didn't like it. Well, I was menial. I was down the bottom and I had to study and I didn't really like study. And I had a band and we had rehearsal space in the centre of city. So I used to go there instead of going to lectures. And then I thought, I was a bit grumpy and my mum said, well, why don't you see if there's a job, because you can play the piano all right. So there was a job advertised in the paper and I got it. So...
that was the job playing keyboards?
That was job playing keyboards for Tom Sharpling and the Rockets, and I was in that band for about 3 or 4 years. And that was an education in entertainment.
Yeah.
As much as music, because a lot of people think, I can play and that's enough.
Yeah.
But it's in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Or business, and the emphasis is on that last word. So
yeah.
I learned a lot about presentation and how you entertain the crowd and all that sort of stuff. Not that I do that. I sit in the background and let other people do that. So, but you still have to have a professional attitude, a professional ethos, and I've tried to maintain that.
Yeah. What was the music scene like back in those early days?
Well, it was the 1970s, so
right.
You know what they say about the 1970s. If you can remember them, you weren't there.
Yeah.
So I can't really remember them.
I can't remember them. I wasn't born then.
Yeah,
so,
okay. So, look,
what did I miss?
The 1970s as a gigging musician were really cool because, you didn't have the internet, look, for example, when we were travelling around, there was a television program called The Grunt Machine, and that's where Paul Holmes got his start.
Oh, really?
Right?
Okay.
When he was a little guy with a big afro and he did the introduction. That was on a Wednesday night, and we all used to huddle around the screen, and you didn't get up to make a cup of tea or anything like that in case you missed something.
Yeah.
But back then, you would tour, and like a tour wasn't like what it is today. We'd get in a van. 5 guys in the van, and you'd travel on Sunday to, say, Tauranga, and set up your gear, do a show on Monday night, and you'd play that pub for a week. So on the Tuesday, you'd go out and you'd go around the street shaking people's hands. We were a rock and roll band, so we used to get dressed up in our jeans and our white T-shirts with our slick back hair and chew the gum and had tats and stuff drawn on our arms and go around and meet people, shake their hands and say, come to the gig.
Cool.
And so you'd start off trying to build a crowd by the end of the week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
They're all
there.
there.
Were quite big crowds.
No, that's cool.
And then on Sunday you get in the van and you go to the next place. So you got to know your musicians really well. Musically, you're in one place, your gear's all set up. So after you do the promotion thing on the Tuesday, then you'd rehearse Wednesday, Thursday. Then you'd start to meet people and you'd go out and, go and see the local sites and all that sort of thing. And
that's cool.
Yeah.
Good lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of your favourite spots and parts of the country to play as a musician? Yeah. And why?
Well, when I was doing that with that particular band, the South Island was fantastic.
South Island is beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. And so you'd maybe start in Nelson. Yeah. The best tour we ever did, we started in Nelson, went to Christchurch, Dunedin, Invercargill, Queenstown, up to the West Coast, and back to Nelson, and then on the ferry. And it was except with the exception of the West Coast, that was basically a week in each place. So you go around and do all sorts of different and interesting things.
Yeah.
The West Coast was amazing because they didn't get very many bands, and they treated you like gods.
That's cool.
And the time we went there, it wasn't whitebaiting season, but came down for breakfast and there was whitebait fritters and
Yum.
yeah, they were fresh. yeah. And but that was in the days when pubs used to close at like 10 o'clock, or if you had to apply for a late license to go to 11, right? And the West Coast was hilarious because the pub would close at 10 and everybody would just walk around the outside and come back in the back door, and then it was a private party, and that just went till 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's awesome.
So
that's one way to get around the rules, eh?
Yeah. So
that's great.
And that was a very formative part of what I did. I was fortunate to start there because I learned a lot of things.
Yeah.
And then after that, I decided that, I'll do this for art. So I starved for a number of years. So, I ended up playing with some people like there's a guy called Harvey Mann in Glenny Pig who used to be in a band called the Underdog Blues Band, and they used to be in a band called Living Force. So I joined them, and we did a tour around New Zealand, and it was just hard work, no money. People didn't understand the music because it was original music.
Yeah.
And so there wasn't kind of like a lot of acceptance. Band had 2 keyboard players, which was very, very strange at the time. Still pretty strange now, I guess, to have 2 keyboard players, although a bit more often. Do you see that?
What's something that you sort of tell yourself if you do sort of hit a low in the music industry, because there are points like that. What keeps you going? Like what's something that you tell yourself, like you mentioned you do it for the art? Yeah. But is there anything else that you sort of say to yourself and to stick to doing it? Because I know some musicians, they do it and then 5 years on they just don't even touch an instrument anymore. Yeah. Something's happened, I'm not sure why, but you've been doing it for a long time. You're very passionate about it. What's something that keeps you going? Well, you get older and you get wiser. So I can't remember what I would have said 20 years ago, 30 years ago. But there is something that somebody, actually, my wife listens to a lot of philosophers and all that sort of thing. There's this guy called Eckhart, and he says, this too will pass. And he's right, You think, oh, this is terrible, this is awful. Well, you put that out there that you actually want to change, and you work towards that change. At one stage I was a planning nut, because I worked for a company and they were into planning. Yeah. You're one of those guys that plans 7 years ahead, is that what you mean? Well, I did, but now I don't, right? Because I think the idea, the basic emphasis of planning is figure out what you want to do. And when you figure out what you want to do, you naturally head towards that. So, I saw a TED talk once, and this lady was saying that, most, like something ridiculous, like 80% of what you worry about, something actually never happens. Never happens, yeah. And so, I guess it's similar with planning, I mean, you can plan to a point, have a little bit of a blueprint where you want to go with goals and things like that, but there's this element of flexibility, and you just kind of, I always like, one of my favorite sayings is life is like jazz. You've got to improvise it a little bit. Oh yeah, absolutely. Look, I'm a big fan of what I call it the jazz ethos, right? And so, a lot of people, if you talk to people about jazz, right? Yeah. They go, oh, they just make it up. Right? And there's a guy called Dr. Billy Taylor, and he does this. He did an excellent interview where he explained what it actually is about. You don't just make it up. It's everything that you've done in your life and everything you've learned builds into you. Yeah. Right? And so
when you sit down and you go to play Blue Monk, right, you can actually quote, I wish I knew how it felt to be free, right? Or vice versa. So you've got this vocabulary that you use. You're not just making it up. And it's the same as speaking.
I was going to say, yeah. It's like learning. It's like knowing a language, but you.
Yeah. So you develop that. So to me, I mean, what I call the jazz ethos is you have what you are, and if you're put into a situation, then you can actually, improve on it, embellish it, make it better. I used to do that with my lectures. So I had a plan, but I never actually stuck to it because you'd go off somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it's the same with a piece of music,
I like that, yeah. Define success. What it means to you?
Look, I think that I'm successful. I'm not rich. I have a very supporting and loving family, and so to me, success is more about how you get on with people and how you treat people, and being able to work towards something that you want to do. Right? So I think you actually have to know what you want to do. That's what the planning thing is actually really good for. Sitting down and ticking stuff off gives you a certain amount of satisfaction. But so my plan when I finished it at SAE was, okay, I'll get another job. Well, unfortunately, at my age, I think that's the first thing people look at when you send them a CV, is they well, he'll be getting the pension soon, so maybe we don't want him, right? And so I thought, well, what am I going to do? And we were sitting with my wife talking about it. I mean, I don't do any of this sort of stuff in isolation because there are other people that my life affects. So I get her input and we talked it through. And so, like, basically, the idea was, we'll build a studio. So then that's your goal. It's just sitting there all the time. Well, how are we going to do that? What do I need to do that? And you just go out and do it. Now, as a planning nut, you'd write all that stuff down and tick it all off. So I go, I'm going to build a studio. Okay, what do I need? Block, 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 block. Okay, and those things there. And, okay, they're in the back of my mind. And you just take the opportunity when it comes up.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're a very lucky man to have a space like this. And that to me it's amazing. That success, you've executed a dream that you've always had, and it's here, it's a reality. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. I must admit, I come down, I open the door, I come in here, and usually I'm fighting with software or something like that. Yeah. But I can come in here and go, wow, pinch myself.
Yeah, no, definitely. You're a very lucky man. Yeah. And we'd love to explore your creative space if you'd let us.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Hey, guys, thanks very much for watching. This is just part one of this episode with Mel Smith. And we're going to shortly, you're going to show us around your beautiful space.
I'll show you. I'm more than happy to.
Stick around for that. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and check out episodes at musicstudios.co.nz. Until next time, stay tuned for part 2.